He separates. He's to the 20, to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Florida State. Warwick got up third down.
Winky looking Winky. Wants to throw the knockout punch to Warwick. Warwick open. Touchdown. He does a touchdown. He did catch it. Touchdown, Florida State. Oh, Peter Warwick, how'd you do that?
Herman Whitfield to the left side. A hole to the 30. Herman Whitfield to the 30. To the 20. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, FSU. Herman Whitfield. A 100-yard touchdown.
Here's the snap. Winston rolling right. Throws the pass on the other.
It's caught! It's caught! It's caught! Touchdown FSU! Kelvin Benjamin!
We're doing it for everybody. We're doing it big all over the country, all over the world. And I'm proud. I'm proud to say I'm a Florida State Seminole.
This is the Garnet and Old Podcast with your hosts, Ryan Eastman and Vince Ciccarelli.
The Garnet and Old Show, another Thursday evening, Vince. No inside info, no contacts, no problem. Real quick, Vince, a quick happy birthday, my friend, to Vince Ciccarelli. Well, happy birthday, sir.
I appreciate it. It's, hey, the beauty of having my birthday in late August is that one of the presents I get every year, Ryan, is football is about to start. It's the time of just everything brewing up. All things are possible, and it's just feeling of we're about to climb the mountain and stick the flag on the top.
You're in your sanctuary on your birthday.
I'm in my sanctuary, and just like a quarterback said many years ago, 10 years ago, I'm proud to be a Florida State Seminole.
Just like Teola Winston all the way in Afghanistan.
I believe it was Jameis's birthday.
Yeah.
Was it not?
Happy birthday, Jameis.
Happy birthday, James. Yeah.
All right, let's get
going.
So before we get kicked off, obviously kickoff week, big stuff going on this week, right? But to start off the show, want to remind everyone, ticket raffle. All right. Before the Miami-Florida State game, which is in Doak Campbell Stadium this year, Garnet Old, if we reach our 2,000 subscriber goal on YouTube, we are going to raffle off live on air about a week before the game 2 Florida State Miami tickets and a parking pass to go along with it. So it's a package deal. You'll have your whole weekend planned out that weekend. So help us get to 2,000 subscribers. Like, subscribe, share, everything. We're excited to have you all join tonight, but please share it with your friends and let's get to that goal. Would love to raffle off those tickets.
Yeah, it's a great deal if you think about it. You get the benefit of being a subscriber to Garnet and Old. We're trying to climb, always trying to climb. And then you get the possibility of taking you and a significant other, someone you love, someone you care about, someone that you bleed with, you cry with, you cheer with, to a Seminole game and watch the Noles take Miami to the woodshed once again.
Yeah. On the house.
On the house. And no doubt Garnet and Old will be having a little bit of a tailgate as well.
And not to brag, but that parking pass that will be part of that deal, it's not a parking lot way off in the distance in the Civic Center. It is right there in the heart of campus, about a 2 to 3 minute walk away from the game. It's a great place to be. But I'm going to ask all of you to do one other thing while you're watching live tonight. If you have questions, comments, put them in the chat. We're going to try to answer them live on the air, much like some of your friends, Vince.
I was going to say, this is very self-serving, but the birthday keeps on giving. Some great friends of mine. One of the folks here, the first one you put up there, her daughter starting at Florida State this year. She actually made them Marching Chiefs. She was real excited about that. And then the second one you posted up there, also a Nole fan. Her kids are Nole fans too. So thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Lori. I don't have the cool heart thing like Ryan has on his new machine he's got there. But
look at that.
But I love you guys. Thank you so much.
That's for you. Before we get into the football stuff, I do want to say for all of you watching from Tallahassee and specifically the Tallahassee Perry area, so long. Idalia, right? It came in and went so fast. It was a fast moving storm, which has its pros and cons. Doesn't really weaken that quick. So, and it hits you hard. But then the next day, if it was like us, it was blue skies. Yesterday night, really, it was beautiful outside. So hopefully everyone is recovering well. No problems here in Jacksonville for the most part. Vince, how'd you fare?
Yeah. Yeah. We had inside info with the Weather Channel. We did not have a lot of contact,
Yeah.
and there was really no problem because if you ever watch the radar through the course of this storm, it seems like every time a band would swirl around, Jacksonville, like Northeast Florida, was always in the clear. It was
Yeah.
very, very strange. So we got a little bit of rain, a little bit of wind, but nothing much. I spent a lot of time clearing out the patio. Didn't
Mhm.
really need to do that, but it's better to be safe than sorry. One of a good friends of mine who's the owner of a well-worn establishment in Tallahassee, spent some time prepping by sandbagging around the saloon. So I'm sure he was happy he did that.
Just give away the name of the saloon for all of you who haven't been, right across the street from Dope. We are friends with the owner of that establishment, and hopefully
Good people.
unscathed.
Unscathed for sure. And so, so long storm. One last comment on that. I had a couple people I talked to today about the storm, and they were like, "Well, what was it like having a storm with both of your daughters are no longer in the house?" We're like, "What
Yeah.
is that like?"
Mm.
And let me tell you, what that's like. First of all,
This is what it's like.
oh my goodness, look at that,
Yeah.
man! He's got all kind of technology going.
Yeah.
But there was a Weather Channel person and in Jacksonville Beach. There was one or two in Tallahassee, and there was one in Statesboro.
Mhm.
That storm went and covered both of my kids in their college life, so they both fared without a problem.
But Vince, I'm going to go ahead and venture to say that the Florida State students are very excited because Vince, they canceled class. The first week of classes was this week. So I'm talking like syllabus day, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and they canceled all the classes. So
They did.
kids showed up at school and they said, "Have a good weekend and enjoy the game." I mean, so you're talking about a week off. Those kids, I'm sure. I can't even imagine the parties that might, but definitely are taking place right now.
Yeah, and I will say for the most part that's true. I will say also that, and I will always tie it back to the Chiefs here. I always will, but because the campus was closed, the Chiefs weren't allowed to practice, and they are learning their first show of the season, which has to go on the field on Sunday evening. So there was some anxiety about how much that was going to get done. They are meeting tomorrow.
Yeah.
The Chiefs are meeting tomorrow to work through that and also hand out. They haven't even handed out their uniforms yet. And as far as Georgia Southern, because this is I have to put that plug in for that.
Always.
Georgia Southern basically said we're going to go to online classes for the next 2 days, and the professors pretty much said, "Nope, we're not doing that. So we won't be having class at all." The
Perfect.
professors are not going to go down that route.
But Vince, there's something amazing going on tonight. We got some college football on.
We do a lot.
We can hate watch. In fact, immediately following this game, I hope everyone who is a Florida State fan immediately moves to their favorite chair in their living room, puts on ESPN, and watches Utah beat the snot out of Florida. Because let me tell you what, I'm just going to throw it out there for everyone. Florida's transfer quarterback is garbage. I have watched him at Wisconsin, and it was tough to watch. I'm talking 50% passer, more interceptions than touchdowns. So after you're done watching Garnet and Old, go watch Florida get curb stomped.
Ryan will take the edge of that. I'll kind of be a little bit more in the middle. That's kind of my role here. We as Florida State fans know what it's like to be in quarterback trouble, right? And the Gators are in quarterback trouble, and they know it. Do not let any of your friends that are Gators tell you any different.
Yep.
They are in trouble there, and they know it. I don't know that they're going to lose this game though, because the quarterback for Utah is not playing tonight either.
That's so stuff. The stuff happening right now around the country with these kind of situations, it's ridiculous. But
it really is.
What can you do? But I'm telling you, it could be where that Florida quarterback just throws 3 interceptions in one game, which would be phenomenal. I'm still going to root for
Sure.
Utah.
Well, you got to root for Utah in this game. Anyone that says, I live in Florida, I root for all the Florida schools. We've already talked about this on the show. You just don't do that.
Yeah.
But there are some other good games on tonight too.
Are you going to watch Wake Forest Elon, Vince?
Well, I'm interested to see teams that we're going to play, right? So I'm interested
yeah.
to see that. Also, UCF, they're going to be their first season in a big time league, right? They're not playing a conference foe here, but they're playing tonight,
trying to win another national championship.
NC, yes, to add to the 0 that they have.
Yeah,
and NC State plays tonight, so there's a lot of decent games on tonight where you can get kind of an idea on what these teams are going to be.
Vince, who do you have tomorrow? Miami or Miami of Ohio?
Is that game tomorrow?
Yes.
Oh, nothing like high school's playing on a Friday night. So, in honor of another good friend of ours, that I work with, who happens to be related to a quarterback from the old days of Florida State that put the number on the Hurricanes last year, Middle Tennessee State. I will go ahead and go with Miami of Ohio. And let's just say the Hurricanes might be in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, the Hurricanes looking forward to that Texas A&M game coming up.
The battle for Miami, from what I've read, whoever wins that game gets to keep the name.
Yeah, that makes sense. But Vince, guess what? It's game week for Florida State too.
It is.
And what's exciting about that is Facebook memories. They bring it to your front page every morning, like, a year ago, whatever. And my entire weekend and my memories page was about last year's game and the build up and the trip and everything. So it's almost like just being reminded of the glory that was Florida State beating LSU in New Orleans last year on their home turf. And, we're going to get into it, but I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good too. There's a lot of memories from that game. And I remember feeling that we were, I was optimistically anxious going into that game because I knew our team would be better. And I also knew that LSU had a brand new staff in place.
Yeah.
So, there was some optimism that we would win that game. And we dominated that game for, 55 minutes of the game.
Sure did.
And then it kind of ended the way it should, with the right team winning the game. But this one is different, man. This one's got a lot more like hype, like expectation from both sides. A lot more expectation in this game.
Yeah, it's kind of for one team or the other come Sunday night. Whoever wins that game, it's kind of a statement game to let the country know that, hey, man, you might be in the playoff discussion come the end of the year. And if you don't win that game, you have a lot more to prove after that, because you really got to buckle down. But whoever the winner, LSU or Florida State, you got to imagine it bodes well for polling the rest of the year and forgiveness if you have a slip up. People don't forget these big primetime out of conference games. They're important, especially when they're both good teams.
Yeah, it's really important. And, I've been telling people all this week, Florida State could lose this game. And I don't want to say it wouldn't matter, because it matters how you lose for sure. But it doesn't change the trajectory of the season necessarily, right?
Yeah.
If you win the game, then the accelerator is already pressed, right?
Yeah.
The accelerator is already pressed, and you're moving forward to some bigger and better things. The other thing that I was going to say is that think of it from the national perspective. Because of the way nationally and the very shallow media nationally, and I don't want to say shallow college football fans, but maybe you're more run-of-the-mill fans.
Yeah.
And there's my dog out. Hopefully you can hear
Georgia
that.
fan out there.
The way they think about this game is, well, you have an SEC team playing an ACC team.
Yeah.
Right. And if Florida State wins the game, what's going to end up happening is they're going to say, well, LSU, there's a problem with LSU.
Yeah.
But if LSU wins the game, it's going to be, well, look, they beat a really good Florida State team.
Yeah, that's just how it goes.
That's just the way it is. And if you're a Noel fan, you understand that that's the kind of reporting we're going to get. So just prepare yourself. That's the reporting that we're going to get. Oh, this is there's my sister.
I'm going to keep putting stuff up on here throughout the
Yeah,
show
that's
anyway.
fine. I'm glad you're doing it, because if I put them up, it makes me look like I'm kind of patting myself on the back.
Yeah.
That's my sister, my younger sister, Denise. Denise, I love you. Thanks for watching. It's always great when your family chimes in here.
Yeah.
And I think I got another one up over there we need to put up there, because that one's been up there for a little bit. So I want to make sure we don't miss that.
So Vince, real quick, thinking about the difference, right?
Thank you, Kennedy.
Kennedy.
Shout out to Kennedy.
Both have worked with.
Georgia Southern grad, by the way. She's GATA all day long.
Yeah. But getting into the LSU feeling, I guess the vibe around the game, because we're going to do a full pregame right about a couple hours before the game on Sunday. We'll release it on social media. But the vibe going into the game, I have a feeling much different this year than going into last year. Last year, I was just going to New Orleans really to enjoy the city and hoping it was just a competitive game. I wanted Florida State to be competitive in that game. And we ended up winning, and that was awesome. But it didn't really, that one game was kind of a standalone game in my mind, where after we were leaving the stadium, and I'm like, that was so cool that we beat LSU, and that's great. But I really didn't think it would have, a lasting long-term effect on the rest of the year. It was kind of compartmentalized. This year, going into the game, I really get a feeling that Florida State should win this game. And if they do, it has major implications, because I sincerely believe there is a chance. It might not be a 90% chance or anything like that, but there is a chance if you beat LSU and then 3 weeks later beat Clemson that you go 12-0.
Yeah, I mean, you can dare to dream that. You can dare to dream that.
But what this does for you is that if you win the first one, you get a free pass at one game the rest of the season, and that is always good to have in your back pocket. Now, if this was next year, we wouldn't be worried at all, because we'd be like, well, surely we'll be in the top 12 by the end of the year. But this year, it's still the 4.
Yeah, again, I would say, this is a ladder. This is a step on the ladder. Where last year, like you said, that game was kind of in and of itself, and the rest of the season was kind of separate from that. This one is a step in the ladder, and the way it goes, it can go either way. I truly believe that it can go either way.
Yeah,
and it can be, like I said, a momentum push.
Yeah,
toward the rest of the season. Is 12-0 possible? Absolutely. I think the team has the talent to do that. But, games have to be played, and you never know how things are going to play out. But I believe they have the requisite talent and depth for that to happen.
Well, one thing I thought was funny, by the way, Vince, and I know you won't care at all what this person has to say, but did you hear what Urban Meyer said on his take on the game?
Urban Meyer is a fool. It's like he got out of football and hasn't read one fact or any story or report or anything about teams since then.
Yeah.
What he said, if those of you that have not paid attention to that, and I wouldn't blame you, because why would you? He said that he believes that Florida State is a year away.
And it does, and if it's a year away, does he ever realize that the amount of talent we have this year, next year will likely be a step back?
Probably. So he doesn't know anything. He doesn't know anything.
Yeah.
And because he's, a former coach, and because he is a current star of a fluff piece on Netflix, that he can do that. So we passed one there. Vin Manager Bagpack. This is from Don West. Don is an LSU grad. He's
I'm sorry.
He's a good buddy of mine, best friend in the world. We go back to Little League days, to give you a little bit of history there. And we went to the LSU game together last year. So we'll be doing that again this year.
Nice.
And look, my mother-in-law's calling me during the podcast. I'll have to call her back.
So here's the thing. I'm thinking big picture. We're better at every position than we were last year. Every single
We
one.
are, and deeper.
We are better. LSU is shorthanded for this game. A couple players, big players, not out there. So, in my opinion, we have maybe a top 3 wide receiver room with a potential Heisman front runner quarterback, and combine that with LSU having 2 of their best corners out for the game. And I mean, it's hard for me not to expect that we're going to put up big numbers in this game. I just don't see a way around it. I don't see a possibility of else because if they bring, first of all, I know what I don't know, but what I think they're going to do, Vince, is they're going to throw the house at pressure and blitzes. I think that they are going to try to get their hats on Jordan Travis. The problem with that is that he's got weapons everywhere, including the tight end room. So if you bring a linebacker, tight end's going to be wide open in the seams. If you do bring pressure and nothing's open, we have seen Jordan Travis 1,000 times scramble, make 10, 20, sometimes even a touchdown out of plays like that. So if I'm the defensive coordinator from LSU, and this is how it's funny, we're in this seat now where I'm saying this about Florida State because 3 years ago I was saying, man, I'm really scared to play. When we would play Clemson in 2021 and be like, oh no, like I'm really scared about this. If I was an LSU fan, I would be like, oh man, this first game of the year, this sucks that we got to be missing our players, not at 100% when we play Florida State, which by the way is fully healthy according to Mike Norvell.
Yeah, man, it's tough. It's tough for me to. I'm never going to downplay the talent and the depth that LSU has. There are guys on that team that by the end of the season are going to be, a little bit of a household name.
Mm-hmm.
So while we may not know their names right now, I can't see us, necessarily running roughshod.
Yep.
Over them. They're just too much of depth of talent there. They may not have all the pieces figured out yet, which again is great when you're starting the season playing them. But yeah, it's tough. It's a tough draw for both teams, but much to the benefit of all the fans. Like we get to go to a playoff game, the first game of the season.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
And likely like the 4th game of the season. So we kind of get a bunch of really good ones. I put that one up, Vince.
You put that one up?
Yep.
Oh, I missed it.
Because I almost said, what's McFlopping your feet?
Oh, yeah, it's an old school throwback. Sorry, I thought we missed that one. I want to make sure everybody got their due.
I will say, Vince, when it comes to expectations, I mean, I think it really hit me when the 2 deep was released on paper. And in the past, there have been times in the last couple of years where I've been like, I don't even like almost like a who's that kind of like, I don't know who that person is. Never seen them. There's not really a single player on this 2 deep where I don't know who they are and they haven't had extensive playing time for many years. So it's like, or they're a transfer that's an immediate starter. You're just going down the list, and Vince, this is the first time that you've ever like it just hit me. Look how much talent we have everywhere.
Yeah, we could literally go down this list, and we can, you and I could speak to the positives and negatives about every person listed here, and there are not a lot of negatives, and some of the negatives, if you want to call them a negative, would be not so sure about this person because of the injuries they've had.
Yeah.
Right. Which is not a knock on their ability per se. Right. But I mean, one of the things you point out right away when this came out is that Destin Hill.
Amazing. I texted you the second
unicorn
that came out.
This guy he's an older guy. He didn't get to come to school right out of high school. He had to wait 2 years for some undisclosed reason, whatever. Florida State kept him in the fold.
Didn't
showed
go
up.
to JUCO.
No, just waited and trained.
Yeah.
Came in, and we all, if you can go back and listen to our shows from before, we're like, yeah, maybe we'll get to see him midway through the season, whatever. No,
Yeah,
he's
cleanup
starting.
time. Yeah, we
Come
thought
on.
like if we were beating a team pretty bad, maybe he gets and then we said next year will probably be where we see Destin Hill. But then Mike Norvell and almost every practice has been like good route runner, one probably fastest wide receiver on the team, good hands, and a great teammate. And you're like, well, okay,
Yeah,
I'm glad that because honestly, if he was not on this roster, Vince, we would still be like, oh, we're good. Winston Wright, yeah,
absolutely good.
yeah.
And look at the tight end room.
Compared to 2-3 years ago, it's unreal.
It's just unreal. And so, for all of the people, whether they're Knoll fans or rival fans or just general fans,
Mhm.
overall, wondering about how Norvell was crafting this team and this program. The portal had to play an extreme part to begin with,
Yep.
and it will continue to do so because that's the way football is these days. And you can see this here
Yeah.
in the tight end room, like Biscuit, Marquiston Douglas.
Yeah.
I mean, and granted, Norvell would probably say that, the ones that are in bold doesn't really matter. Everybody is going to be getting a lot of snaps, but
Yeah.
Marquiston Douglas is not starting. I mean,
Yeah.
that's phenomenal from a
Yeah.
depth perspective, right?
Yeah. That
Um,
means Jaheim Bell's that good, and Kyle Morlock is that good.
that's right. I mean, again, the games have to be played, Ryan, and we may come out of Sunday wondering what happened and why the game was lost, but that doesn't change the fact of where this team is now from a program perspective.
Yeah.
Um, this team is ready to start laying waste to the majority of the teams that are out there.
Yeah.
Um, that's just the offensive side of the ball. I even talk about the offensive line, right? But yeah, when the depth chart came up, what else stood out to you, Ryan?
So one thing that stood out to me because I think there's a lot of feeling right now. This is the best we felt since 2013. I've heard a lot of people say that very similar feel to 2013. Uh, let's talk about 2013. Just starting wide receiver, you had Kelvin Benjamin, Rashad Green, Nick O'Leary, Christian Green, and what's his name? The
Kenny Shaw.
old Kenny Shaw, old reliable Kenny Shaw. I'm not so sure that if you put them on the field right now, and I was drafting a little league game, and I said, give me them or give me, Keon Coleman, Johnny. I can't call him. What a great nickname Johnny Football would be, but Johnny Manziel rubbed that for everyone.
Yeah.
But Johnny, Keon, Winston Wright, Jaheim Bell. I'm not so sure that we're not deeper than that 2013 team.
Well, we may be deeper, but the other thing about that is we have to wait to see how this season plays out.
Do
At
we
the
though?
end of this, well, yeah, because I'm not talking about depth. I'm talking about quality. At the end of this season, depending on how this season goes, we may look at this wide receiver core and place them above the 2013 core because
Which is scary.
going into 2013, we didn't look at them the way we looked at them after that season.
Right. That's what I was saying going into the season, the feeling.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Kelvin Benjamin up in that point hadn't really done much of anything.
And then
Rashad Green had been the man.
Then Kelvin Benjamin took 7 Gators for a hayride on his back into the
Yeah.
end zone.
But on the flip side, Vince, the big question mark. I mean, we know who the pieces are in defense. We recognize the names. A lot of guys that we've had last year and even the year before, good contributors. But does this good defense go from being, I think, safe to say last year, a good defense? You would just say good. You
Yeah,
wouldn't say
I would say
great.
good.
You
No, I would
wouldn't
say
say
good.
poor. Yeah, good. A B defense. Can they make the step to get to like maybe an A minus or a B plus, where a very good, maybe not great, but very good defense? Because if you in college football, in modern college football, an offense alone, even with a poor defense, see the Big 12 for the last 20 years. An offense alone can get you 10, 11 wins. I mean, we've seen it. You've seen shootout games, 55-10 54, 3 overtimes in the Big 12. And Oregon did it for a long time too. And your defense can be and really just get burned on every play. But the teams that really, really make it all the way to the national championship, to the playoffs, have either a really special offense and a really good defense, or a very special defense and a serviceable offense.
Right.
Um, a good example would be I always think of the Alabama year when they won the national championship with our former backup to Jameis Winston, right?
Yeah.
He's not great.
Jake
He's
Coker.
Jake Hooker was mayonnaise on white bread at Alabama as far as quarterback play, and they go out and win the national championship because their defense was unstoppable that year.
Sure.
So what you have to hope, I think we both agree, and I don't want to speak for you, but this offense will be elite. We expect elite, top 10 offense. It's fair to say that.
I believe so. Yeah.
If the defense can be top 20 defense, we should win
If-
11 games.
Yeah, I think the defense. I think if you can get the defense to top 25, I think we're really cooking.
We were there last year, which surprises some people. If you look at overall total defense, we were.
Yeah, but were we 25?
Yes.
Okay, so
Mhm.
I didn't realize that. So yeah, maybe top 20 because we need a little bit more aggression, a couple more turnovers that go our way.
Yeah.
And I think with that happening, which I think is going to happen this year.
Yeah.
You'll see this defense take it up another notch. It's just exciting,
Yeah.
when you talk about offense, defense, and which teams are, have it all. The 2013 team was elite on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
And that you see what the end result is, right?
Right.
It's not always the end result, but that's where your ceiling is when you have that.
And I want to get into what we believe are kind of the stereotypical key to the game. I don't want to go keys because I want to kind of nail you down, Vince, and have you make a prediction. What is
That's fine.
your one key of the game for Florida State to come out victorious against LSU?
One key of the game. Let's see. We need one key of the game. In order to get that, we will. Is that what you're saying? We absolutely will win if we get this?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
If we get 2 interceptions, we win the game.
Interesting, going on the defense side.
Yep. Because I'm not concerned so much about scoring points.
Okay.
Thank you, Them's Got Cheese, for the birthday wishes. When Them's Got Cheese, it's a good time.
Vince, if we lose the game, what costs us the game?
Let's see. If we lose the game, again, I would say the defense not being able to contain Daniels to the point where he's able to create.
Yeah. I'm going to agree with you as far as my point with what can cost us the game. I think Daniels, let's be honest, like we love Jordan Travis. He's elite on the ground, right? I mean, he can make guys look silly. See the Florida game last year and multiple games actually last year, but Daniels, man, he's right there with Jordan Travis.
Super special.
And he's bigger. And so not only does he get free, it has some wiggle room, but he likes to lay the hat on people when he gets a full head of steam. So I agree with you there. My key to the game, like if Florida State is victorious because this happened, I'm going to say it's because Jordan Travis has a 350-yard plus 4 to 5 touchdown game.
Right.
One of those games.
Thank you, Janelle, by the way.
Yeah.
Thank you, Janelle. Thank you for listening.
I would say something akin to Jameis Winston's first start against Pitt, where it was apparent to everyone watching that this quarterback is elite. And if that happens, I just don't see. Listen, Daniels might be able to run around like crazy. I watched a lot of his games last year. Very fun to watch. Very, very good athlete. I don't think he's as accurate throwing the ball as Jordan.
Definitely not.
So all we've been hearing and all we saw last year was Jordan Travis literally in the pocket or running out of the pocket dropping dimes on people. So I take that all day. That that's the key to the game. So Vince, it's time now. After all this wait, after all this pent up energy, waiting for this game to take place. Vince, what is your prediction?
Aquilus deal wide, LSU.
Bismo Funyuns, Florida State University.
Bismo
I think
Funyuns.
we'll throw that up there. Let's also throw this up there while we're talking
so
about
crazy.
our predictions. Bismo Funyuns. So this is what the matchup predictor,
Which is based on FPI.
correct. And you look down there a little bit lower, you can see that Florida State is the underdog in this game, which is weird, right? The way everybody's talking about the team.
Yeah.
I think both teams, both LSU and Florida State, could look at this and go, I feel like we're the favorite, but I also feel like we're the underdog. Like that's how this game is. I am gonna, and we're going predictions right now, huh?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. I got an easy one for you. It's 38-21 Florida State.
Okay, so you're actually pretty close because I wrote down my number earlier today. I had it in my head. Vince, I'm going 45-17.
Wow.
And I really believe that there'll be two things that really are apparent in this game. Yes, Jordan Travis, to get 45 points, Jordan Travis and the whole offense really has to play an incredible game, right? That's obvious. But I do think some of this blowout will be because of missing. And I don't want to take anything away from Florida State if they win the game. But if we were going into this game missing our two top corners and our best defensive linemen,
absolutely,
I'd be pissed.
Right. And we are missing one of our best, if not our best, defensive linemen.
One versus,
that's kind of a wash.
They're missing three of those, basically.
Yeah.
So I think that will have an effect. I would not be shocked at all if there's 2 to 3 shock plays where there's a guy wide open because of confusion on handoffs in the corners, handing it off in zone coverage or something like that. That we just get these really, really easy touchdown plays. And then I think that 45-17 score also means that Daniels throws like 2 picks in the game or a fumble and a pick or something like that, getting sacked. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you look at the way that would play out, if you can get, this is true of any team. I get it. So I'm not saying this like this earth-shattering philosophical discussion, but if you get a team far enough behind, they start doing things they wouldn't normally do, and they get out of their comfort zone. It would be the same way if LSU got out to a large lead on us.
Yeah.
Right. So, but if you can put together some gap, then you're having a team do something that they weren't planning on doing. We got some predictions here. Phillips said Knowles by 100. And he also said 35-34 Knowles. So another nail biter. We got a 42-28 from Phillip. Another Phillip. Both friends of the program. And let's see, what else do we got here? We have some more happy birthdays for me. I'll just throw them up here real quick from Kristen. And then also this is Catherine, little Catherine, my little beauty there. Take it down the street. So make sure I get these up there. Thank you guys very much. I enjoy. This has been a great day birthday wise. Just let me say, the show is the icing on the cake.
And you got college football in 20 minutes.
I do.
Vince, are you gonna, if it's close, are you gonna stay up till the end of that game tonight?
Oh, I'm gonna watch the game in its entirety regardless, because I've been missing college football so much.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Work
watch.
from home day.
I'm gonna watch. Here we go. We've got an LSU prediction.
John
here.
West, my man. Thanks for coming on. Look at that, 35-30. So it's.
I wouldn't expect anything less. I wouldn't expect anything less. That's a heck of a game there too. So looking forward to hanging out with my buddy down there. Andrew says 21-16 Knowles. Okay.
Philip, man, you're killing us. Wait, he gave a prediction already. This seems.
This is his son.
Oh, okay.
Andrew, giving a prediction here. Oh, you want to answer this question? You want to get here? You want to talk about this or not? This is foolishness. This is
All right.
foolishness.
So, guys, to fill everyone in, if you didn't hear it, Deion Sanders was asked about, Florida State, just in general terms in a talk, and he basically in a nutshell said, I don't identify with that school. Like I'm not, that's not me. And he even said like I graduated from HBCU, and you're like, okay. Florida State literally puts him on the map in college football. Makes he's the number one player in the country. Lets him beat Deion Primetime Sanders. Puts him in the Florida State Hall of Fame. He's posted all over the campus. But guess what? We didn't give him an interview for a head coaching position either time when Jimbo left or when Willie left. And there's some sour grapes there. So I get internally, I can get why he would be not in love with Florida State right now. But to basically say I'm in no certain terms, like almost like disowning the legacy at Florida State, it doesn't make any sense. Even just to bring up the Swamp Kings documentary, the Florida Gator documentary. I know a lot of Florida fans that, Urban Meyer was like the worst person in America and they hated him when he left. But they can still recognize that he won them a national championship and, did some good things. With Deion, he should be able to rationalize as a mature individual, which he's not mature. To say, just answer the question very basically. He could have said something like, I appreciate, my time at Florida State, but I'm here to talk about Colorado.
Yes. Here are 3 words when it concerns Deion, when it's for me. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. Because you said Florida State made him. He would have been great no matter where he went. But the marriage of the two made the whole Deion thing happen.
Yeah.
The marriage of the two, right?
Yeah.
So if there's a microphone, Deion is most comfortable when there's a microphone in front of him, which is all the time. If you think that there's not, I'll say one thing, Deion is a marketing machine.
Yeah.
And he knows how to get the fires burning, whatever those fires are. So, but in terms of what he said and the reasons why he said it, I don't care.
Yeah, he's a diva. He's one of those types of people that likes to say inflammatory things that get headlines. He's always been that way. So was I surprised? Were you surprised at all?
No,
I wasn't.
No. And nothing surprises me with Deion, and I don't care what he says. He's a Knoll. People identify him as a Knoll, even if he doesn't want that to happen.
Yeah.
So it's just all for clicks, and
he'd be the first one if Mike Norvell left, 4 years from now or something like that. He'd be the first one asking for an interview again.
Sure. Yeah. So yeah, it says whatever, Deion, go actually coach your team and figure out if you're actually good at it, because no one knows yet. You are great at it. Who knows?
Vince, we have one bonus section real quick because I know we both want to end on time tonight and let everyone go watch some football. Bonus round though, because the nonsense that's been reported over the last 2 weeks of Cal, Stanford, and SMU joining the ACC, and it actually being reported that it's a possibility, and there's there has to be one of the dissenting votes has to basically be flipped, and that would actually happen. Me and you, every single time we saw a tweet or a report where we would talk to each other, we'd be like, it's a joke. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. And guess what? There was supposed to be a decision last week. Then there was supposed to be a decision Monday. And then push back. But you know why that is? Because they don't have the votes.
They don't have the votes.
And they're not
going to have the votes without anything short of a dramatic change in revenue for the teams that are voting no.
Yeah.
If that doesn't happen, those, I don't have anything against Stanford or Cal or SMU or anybody, but those teams are not going to be in the conference, and there's no financial reason to do it. As a matter of fact, for the amount of money that they're saying it would be right now, if they were to come in, it would be a negative to bring them in, just from the terms of the schools that want to get out is lowering their chance, whatever chances those are, of getting out at an earlier time by adding teams to the mix. It's just not going to happen. And we've said that from the beginning. We've told your college sports connection, which we are affiliated with, and all of our partners there, this is not going to happen.
Yeah.
So whatever you're reading about that, again, if it does come to pass,
the financials will be much different.
The financials will be different, and I'm okay if that's the reason. Then I'm happy to eat crow.
Yeah,
right?
if we are only short 10 million a year of the SEC, I'd be like,
okay,
we can make up for that.
We've been doing that for years.
Yeah, but as it currently stands, with the numbers that I've seen around there, it still is putting us 25 to 30 million behind. It won't make any sense. There'd be no reason for it to do. And Vince, this is the perfect time. Speaking of money.
Yeah, speaking of money,
we're giving it away for free.
You do. You want to go to the Miami game. This is you right now, listeners, watchers. You want to go to the Miami game. You don't have tickets. You don't know where you're going to get tickets. You don't have a parking pass. Where am I going to park? This is your solution right here. Tell them about it, Ryan.
Yeah, all of you. We have a lot of Florida State fans and people welcoming, saying happy birthday to Vince. So for all of you who are not aware, and you guys all have a ton of Florida State connections. Every single person on this live stream has Florida State connections. Share the YouTube channel of Garnet and Old out with your friends and tell them to subscribe. If we reach 2,000 subscribers by what is the actual date of the game? At sometime in October.
Yeah, it's actually November, I think.
We are going to raffle off a pair of Florida State Miami tickets and a parking pass in a booster lot, which is literally right by the circus tent outside Doak Campbell. So you'll be super close to the game. Great tailgating spot.
Close to the Garnet and Old tailgate.
Vince, I checked StubHub today for that Florida State Miami game. You're not getting a ticket for less than $150 a piece. You're going to get 2 tickets and a parking pass, and those parking passes are generally $100 to $200. So it's about a $400 to $500 value that we are giving away
for the grand price of
a subscription.
$0. A subscription to YouTube. So so please do that, and we'd love to have that happen so we can give those away and we can celebrate that. Let's kind of wrap this up, Ryan.
Yeah, I'm excited. Look at this. So just to give everyone a rundown what to expect first this weekend. In the afternoon on Saturday, we'll release a specific time later on Sunday. We're going to do a pregame show, live stream, just like tonight. But we're going to do it a couple hours before the game. Vince will be in Orlando. I will be here. I'm hosting a house party here for the game. And we're going to do a kind of 20 minute pregame show, last final thoughts before the game. And then immediately following this game and every game, we're going to do a post-game instant reaction video. And then the normal Garden Old show every Thursday will still happen every week, where we'll usually get deeper into the previous week's game and preview the next week's game. And we're just going to kind of repeat that cycle for all games that are not at home in Doak Campbell. If we are at Doak, we are going to be doing a live stream pre and post game from Doak Campbell Stadium. And for some of the games, 2 games specifically, Boston College and Wake Forest, which September 16th is right around the corner, guys. And for those of you who've never been to Fishware Brewing Company in Jacksonville, it's in the Riverside, Avondale general area in Jacksonville. It's a Florida State-owned brewery. They are fantastic people, both of them. Both Knowles. Is a FSU go-to watch party place. The whole place is decked out for FSU. They got
a huge backyard. They got a huge backyard area.
They got the war chant playing after touchdowns. They got the game sound, all the TVs on the Florida State game, so you don't have to fight for a channel on the TV. It is.
What else do they have, Ryan?
They
have Garnet and Golden Ale, which they tapped last night, I think, on the 30th. So that is the new seasonal brew of that is out and available. And also, you mentioned something about the war chant, and this is the perfect time to plug this.
Mm-hmm.
Yours truly is efforting to put together a Marching Chiefs alumni live at Fishware. So if any of you are out there watching or listening and you live in the Northeast Florida area and want to be part of that group to go and perform for these away games, please reach out to me at BC Knoll on Twitter.
And those
Or on
games
Facebook.
at Fishweir, we're going to be doing a pre-halftime and post show live from the Fishweir Brewing Company with fans everywhere. We're going to be broadcasting it over their PA. So not only if you could stream it when you're at home, but you can hear it even if you're at the bar. And so just really, really exciting stuff. It's going to be a good time. We got so much stuff happening, and we hope everyone comes out and sees us. But Vince, real quick.
Hold on. One more time.
Yeah. Let's do it.
LSU.
Bismo Funyuns, Florida State University.
Perfect. Vince, I think that's a perfect way to end it. Let's go hate watch Florida. I think it's been a great show. Great to see you, Vince. Garden and Old. No inside info, no contacts, no problem. Go Noles.
Go Noles.